Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
And what's it gonna do?
It doesn't matter how you're doing. Woo! Wheeling, dealing, limousine right, jet flying.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Would you please shut the hell up?
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the human rubble.
What up, what up? Welcome to episode 67 of Keep the Kayfabe. I'm Mike, sitting here with my boys, ready to talk some wrestling. And boy, is there a lot to talk about. Jeff Hardy just recently got released from the WWE. We have Winter is coming with AEW. And Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly bidding farewell to NXT, two staples within the promotion. So there's a lot to get to, and we're going to break it all down soon. But let's get acclimated with the boys real quick. Over in Glendale, somebody who keeps it regal, Steve Grobschmidt. How are you, Grabby?
Somebody called Barry Trotz to figure it out why the Islanders have yet to win in the building.
Yeah. Oh, man, being a big hockey guy myself, I loved all that hockey talk last night.
I just thought we have to keep
Rampage.
the ball rolling on ripping on the Islanders because it was such a theme.
I know, I'm checking the score right now to see, and they did lose again tonight against the Predators. I was keeping an eye on that game while I was working tonight. They lost 4-3, so they still haven't won in this new state-of-the-art arena. It's kind of crazy, so kind of wild. Keep your eye on the NHL, boys and girls.
Wow.
All right, let's cruise on over to Bayview, talk to my guy who keeps it freshly squeezed, Mr. Matt Michelson. How are you, Matt? Damn, dog. I mean, you've been really pulling out the mouth beatboxing and trumpets and all that shit the last 3 weeks. Like, you've been really doing all that.
I call it the mouth kazoo. It never lets me down.
I was just gonna say, for those of you that, because there's not a video, that was not a real kazoo. That was Matt's mouth.
It's a talent, man. You got it. Perfect pitch.
It's all about the kazoo.
Matt Michelson, baby.
Nice. I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Oh,
It's all
boy.
about the kazoo.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I love it. Last week he came out to do his entrance, just to go sit at the announcing table.
Yeah,
It's so great.
Yeah. And the crowd was just going nuts. If you watch it on DVR, if you go back, watch him do it, then just look at the crowd behind him. Guys are just
My God.
boom! They're just yelling and getting all excited. You'll see guys like jumping in the crowd, we were the night he was he first debuted. Yeah, I was jumping like a schoolgirl for him and Punk that week.
Hey, Mike, since we're finishing up introductions, who is that just talking right there?
Haha.
It's the man living in a land of confusion lately, Mr. Oh my God! Charlie Michael, he's back, baby, off of his Genesis tour.
Yep, the Genesis tour, the elite, the elite Super Cake Party.
Oh baby,
Yep.
Yes, and we have to just get the story on this. We only got pictures in the group thread. I kind of hinted at it last episode that Charlie met some A-listers in the ATL airport. So Charlie, you were going to a Genesis concert, correct?
Yeah, I was flying.
Or were you working?
I was flying to Philadelphia.
Okay, so you had a connection.
In Atlanta, yep.
Wow, that's even crazier. Little did you know, you would bump into some of your idols, the Young Bucks, in the ATL airport.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Yeah, I was just I actually was walking around because a lot of the food places were closed, and so I was looking around and just walking down different aisles, and I was like, finally, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to this Popeye's chicken, the chicken sandwich. I know it's good. Then all of a sudden, I'm walking and I look and I'm like, I see Matt Jackson. I'm like, holy shit, he was like stunned. I was stunned. I'm like, then I saw his brother, and then I saw Brandon. I'm like, dudes, you guys are kick ass. I go, I go, oh man, you guys kick ass. I didn't shake their hands or anything like that because of COVID. I didn't want to freak them out. And I was like, hey, can I get a picture really quick? They're like, yeah. And so I started taking this selfie. And I couldn't get it right. So some guy was there. He might have been a Young Bucks fan too, but he didn't have the balls to say anything to him. So he like,
oh man, what a trooper.
Yeah. So he oh, I'll take it, and took the picture. I was like, sweet, thanks, man. It was just
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was just freaky that they got there that late because usually those guys get in town a day early because they always film stuff for being the elite. So they're always there a day early. It just happened they got there the day of the show, so it was just really
so
weird.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it wasn't like it was, I saw him, it wasn't like it was like not crowded. It's Atlanta Airport, so it's pretty busy and there's a lot of people there. I'm just like, oh shit, just happened to walk right in front of him at the same time, dude.
Did Cutler help because he's so damn tall?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was like, get it. I go, get Brandon in here. Go get Brandon. I was like, make sure you get Brandon in here,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he loved that. Yeah, I'm surprised you recognized him.
Right away, dude, with mask on. Right away. I saw him Matt. I was like, it's fucking Matt Jackson. I'm really good with, like, when I spot famous people, knowing them right away. Like, oh, shit, that's such and such. Like, I did it to Lee Johnson. I saw Lee Johnson. I saw Sami Zayn at the gym, and I just knew right away. And actually, years ago, when Bryant first signed to WWE, I'd kind of quit watching, and he was there. And I was like, I didn't really know him. And, like, now I wish I had a picture with him back then. Because I saw him.
Now he's like an all-time great.
Yeah. It was like when he was clean face, short hair, Daniel Bryant. Doing the whole next thing, But yeah, it was pretty wild seeing him. I knew him right away. I was like, oh shit.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I was so happy for you too, because I know you were the guy that got me hip to the Young Bucks, like talking them up, like, because I know you've been with them since the very beginning and everything. That had to have been just a huge thrill.
Oh, totally, yeah. Because I've seen them, at live at shows and stuff, and when they were Ring of Honor, they were doing their signings and on the merch table and everything like that, but I never bought anything, but I've been fairly close to him. But just to run into him in the airport was kind of cool, Probably made them feel famous as well, because I'm sure there weren't many wrestling geeks.
I'm always keeping my eye out for wrestlers in an airport. That's like my dream, is to like spot somebody and bum rush them a little bit.
Well, we've heard your story about bringing flowers under the guise of like welcoming your wife, but also to see wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
no shame in that.
She tipped me off to it. That wasn't as organic as what Charlie experienced. So,
yeah, it's true.
Well,
very cool.
Speaking of organic passings now, a staple in the NXT family, pretty much Mr. NXT, Johnny Gargano is moving on from his current contract, and we don't know his current landing point yet. We all kind of speculated that he may be going up to the main roster just because he's such a WWE guy, but from the news that we heard when me and the boys were chatting before we hopped on tonight to do the show, Johnny doesn't have to sign anywhere until midnight tonight, or what's the story, Steve?
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot of meat to the bone other than he has not, as of now, re-signed with WWE, and as of midnight, he will officially be a free agent. So, there's obviously a chance he could re-sign with WWE, but he hasn't. And come midnight, I feel like if he was going to, he would have.
That Fightful. I looked up that Fightful after you told me that's where you saw it. It pretty much said there that they haven't, that both sides aren't re-signing. So
I'm so happy about that too, because
same here. I thought he sold out.
I just what do I know? There's people that have their own reasons for doing things for their career, but I just like seeing anybody who's of any prominence just not re-signing there because of all the crap they've pulled. And I don't say this as the slightest knock on him. I say it on Vince and all the usual suspects, but I see his chances for meaningful success on the main roster to be less than 5%.
Yeah, exactly.
If they couldn't figure out Keith Lee, Ricochet, Aleister Black, you name it, what are they going to do with a guy that, we already know Vince doesn't like little aging guys. So what the hell would they have done with him?
Nothing. I thought the
agreed.
Wording, real quick, I thought the wording on this is kind of interesting too. I'll read it and then you can go, Matt. Johnny Gargano is set to become a free agent at midnight after he and WWE decided not to extend his contract. So was it a two-way street? But go ahead.
Yeah, interesting.
That is interesting. I was just going to jump in, but Charlie, before you read that, I still don't know where I stand on this. I was going to say that I'll believe it when I see it, as far as is Johnny Gargano actually going to leave WWE. But after hearing that article, I mean, that seems a lot more like, if the feeling is mutual, okay, then I would think, okay, Johnny Gargano's probably moving on somewhere else. I feel like, though, WWE's done a lot to almost like confuse and mislead everybody in the public as far as like, what is Johnny Gargano actually going to do? Are we going to see him in the Royal Rumble? Are we going to see him on Raw next week? Who knows, right? Now, let's say he does leave WWE, which from the sounds of this article, it sounds like it's going to happen.
It's gone right now. How many guys?
Yeah,
how many guys do you know that don't get a contract signed? Go back. Okay, a week later, I'm signing with you.
It doesn't happen often.
It's a wrap, dude.
Yeah. So I don't see it happening. At the same time, I don't know that we're going to see him roll up in AEW anytime soon, just because Candice LeRae, I think, is about a month away from having their kid. So,
February.
Yeah. So I'm imagining that Johnny Gargano is going to want to take some time, be with the kid.
I hope he saves some money because there's no benefits, there's no pay. Once that contract's over, it's not like a 90-day. It's nothing. She's got a check coming in and stuff like that, but
that's true.
That's the part with being a subcontractor.
He could sign with knowing the class organization AEW is. They could sign him just to give him the benefits and then debut him in February, or not February, but after his paternity type thing. I mean, I don't know that. I think to your point, Matt, I don't know that we're going to see him next week.
No. I was thinking Kyle O'Reilly's going to come next week.
Something big's going to happen. Winter's coming. Wasn't it last year that Sting debuted?
Yep.
And
right.
I think, if one of these big names is going to drop, I think Kyle O'Reilly is the most logical. They got to do something on their big show.
Yeah, something big's got to happen. Yeah, because I would be really surprised if they I'd be really surprised if they took the belt off Hangman, because last year, like you said, Sting debuted. Kenny got the title. It was a big show. Right. It was a big show last year.
Big time.
Yeah.
Mojo Rawley's still out there. Sorry.
Yeah. Johnny's in between a little rock and a hard place right now when you talk about the benefits and, a baby coming in. I mean, it's nice to have that time up. He doesn't seem like a guy that kind of splurges all his money and stuff like that. So he might just kind of wait in the weeds and maybe do a little autograph signing here and there. But, I don't see him rushing into AEW pretty soon. It's not like they desperately need him right now either. So I think maybe we'll see what Johnny's going to start doing maybe in the spring is what my prediction would be.
I'm just thinking.
But I like where your head's at with Kyle O'Reilly, too, because he was the other big guy that kind of went out with a bang on this last NXT episode, and we're going to see if he lands in AEW, and that makes way more sense, especially with his boys Bobby Fish and Adam Cole recently being signed there, and it could recreate some that Ring of Honor magic, right, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, because it's just basically Tony Khan's booking it like Ring of Honor and early NXT with Triple H. With the bigger budget, it's the same, it's the same kind of wrestling style, same presentation, stealing things from WCW with debuting guys, and stuff like that. So,
it'll get old Ring of Honor people excited to see like a reboot of it, kind of. But then there's people like me that missed all that. And now we get to see, like you said, in a bigger budget on a great network, and it's exciting.
Yeah, because the stuff that Red Dragon, O'Reilly and Fish did was good at NXT, but it was so much freaking better in Ring of Honor. There's a lot of great matches there with like those guys and the Bucks. They had great matches, dude. It was just. they just all work so well together. So it's gonna be obviously the best wrestling company in the world. I mean, if New Japan too, but AEW is gonna be probably one of the best wrestling companies in the world, easily.
Yeah.
All the guys coming.
Well, let's not forget the, I would say, likelihood that Kevin Steen's going to be showing up.
Yeah, exactly. And in January, and
that's going to be. I can't overstate how big that's going to be.
And Zayn as well. So.
That's going to be as big as like the All Out debuts that we saw.
Yeah. Next year, they're poised to have a good 2022.
Oh, for sure.
time.
And that is undisputed.
Yep. No,
nice.
That's
right. Not yet.
Well, just with all these trifecta stables that are in AEW, I mean the storylines can go on and on. I mean, we just saw Trent rejoin the Best Friends on last night's episode of Dynamite when his mom rolled up in the minivan. I was like, could it be? And he steps out with the... I kind of missed the lettuce. I mean, he had a great head of lettuce.
Oh, I like the look he's got now, man. He looks like a stud.
It's badass. It looks a little more like, intense.
A badass,
although,
yeah.
A friend of mine good-naturedly joked that he looks like the love child between the Blade and John Moxley now, which is kind of funny when you look at it. Yeah. He kind of looks like he looks a bit like the Blade, but no, it was a good look.
He looks good.
Totally. Yeah. I was telling the guys before we started recording, this was one of my favorite parts of Dynamite.
Yeah, me too.
I was a big fan of the Best Friends when I first started watching Dynamite, and then Trent went away for a while, had some surgery, spent some time recovering, and I think Wheeler Yuta joined the group around that time, and since then it just hasn't felt the same. Nope. And I think last night watching Dynamite, seeing Trent return with Sue in the van, everything feels right again, and I'm really excited to see what they do with the Best Friends. I have to believe by bringing Trent back, there's something in the works.
I don't know, maybe Charlie of all of you know the most about him, but I was kind of lukewarm on Romero until that match last night. He was outstanding in that match, and I say the lukewarm thing because I didn't watch him in anything else.
Oh yeah,
but,
dude,
he stole the show last night.
Yeah, I was kind of that way too years ago when I first saw, because him and Trent were a team, Roppongi Vice.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
I saw them as they're okay, and then all of a sudden I saw them more and more because they were mostly in Japan, and they came Ring of Honor, and then I was like, I was sold by him, dude. It was fucking insane, dude. Here's another brush with. A brush with greatness. I don't know if I can't remember if Rocky Romero was from the Chicago suburbs or not, but I went to a Ring of Honor show years ago, and somehow I was sitting next to these people that were just huge Rocky Romero fans because they were cheering hard for him and Trent, and I guess they went to high school or knew him really close. So after the show, like, fucking Rocky was there with them, I didn't take any pictures or nothing, but got to meet him and shit. He was just a cool dude. It was like, wow. But yeah, him and Trent were great, dude. And Rocky's just really good. That's why I think the whole deal, I think he's a coach in New Japan and the dojo and the West Coast, because that's why he's here a lot. So I think that's why he's here and not in Japan, but I could be wrong on that, but I know he has something to do with that JoJo in California they have.
There's just something funny about you look at guys like Rocky Romero and also I just lost his name. Oh my god, Ray Phoenix. They don't have if you just looked at them standing there they don't have they're not ripped.
Yeah,
but my God, can they do moves? It's just it's great.
That's when I first saw the Bucks. I'm like, who the fuck are these little guys, dude? I was like, holy shit, they tore the house down.
But to bring it back to what Matt said, I mean, I agree. I feel like something was lost with Trent. I don't know, Wheeler Yuta, because there's such a lack of personality there, hasn't done anything for me. Yeah. And then Romero's good, but it's it just seemed a little directionless. Even Cassidy. Yeah. And now I feel like
they're back.
They're gonna it's back.
Because you gotta remember they had one of the best matches ever in Ring of Honor in AEW with Proud and Powerful. Remember that?
Yeah. Exactly. That was a hell of a match.
The parking lot fight. I still go back and watch that match on occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steve, you just mentioned Orange Cassidy feeling a little bit directionless as well. And I totally agree. I've been feeling that lately too. I was listening to the What Culture podcast today, and they even mentioned the same thing. But if you pay attention to the match we saw on Dynamite this week, there was a moment where he goes for his signature, leg kicks that are just completely harmless. And Adam Cole just is having none of it. And you can tell by the end of the match, Orange Cassidy kind of has this look on his face like, I need to get it together. So my hope is we start to see him evolve his character a little bit. I think it's about time for it. I mean, it's pretty impressive. He's managed to make it over 2 years in AEW with the same shtick without evolving whatsoever.
Well,
so
what's great about AEW is that somebody can go strong like he did, or the opposite. Miro came in with that video game thing and it just wasn't working with Kip Sabian. And it just all works out in the end. It's like, Miro went from being like, oh, that wasn't much of a debut, to just like his character is one of the coolest things I've seen. Like, I just love this. Like, he's like sacrilege. Like, I don't know. I think what he's doing is great. So Orange Cassidy did amazing things. He beat Jericho. Now it's almost like they've kind of put pause on him. But he's going to come back at some point. And it's like they got so many tools to work with. They could just kind of say, all right, we're going to kind of put you on the slow track right now, but then we'll bring you back. It's really, they're kind of, it's interesting how they can do that, or just keep them quiet on Dark for a while or Elevation, and then they're back in the mix.
Yeah, one of the great thing about using factions in wrestling, everybody gets time and the crowd gets these crazy chaotic matches.
Yeah. I mean, look at that 2.0 Acclaimed. That was a damn fun match, too, with the Jurassic and the Varsity Blondes. Varsity Blondes, I mean, we haven't seen anything from them since MJF was, like, menacing Pillman. Right. They went completely back to the other shows. They bring them back out of the blue, and now you got like Malachi Black spitting mist into Julia's face, and it's like it's all fresh again.
And I think that's the only reason they brought him back, just to have that happen, or you won't
you
won't see him again. They're not going to work in big angles with those guys.
Probably not, but they're young. I think they'll have their days here and there.
Time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping Julia comes back as like some sort of like effed up like mistress, like dark mistress, kind of like he corrupts her. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I don't know. They're probably not going to do that.
Oh, too soon. She's too pure. Just a sweetheart, Julia is with the Varsity Blondes. Whew, I hope she's okay. Well, speaking of being okay, on the flip side, it's Cody's back. He still look pretty burnt up, and still look like he took a lot of damage from the last ATL street fight. But I think we should cover it before we move on to our predictions for Winter is Coming. We saw Cody give a promo vignette with Shivani, and he was a little more self-aware of how much people did not like him, which warmed us, the boys, up a little more to Cody, which was very interesting. He kind of referenced himself like, just me and you were just a couple of good guys and stuff like that, and he kind of fake going into the heel tunnel, but then went back over to the babyface tunnel.
That was good. I was like, yes. I was like, he's got it.
Yes.
So, Charlie, are you feeling Cody a little bit now?
Oh, yeah.
You've been kind of dogging Cody the past couple of weeks.
Well, I like him that he's turning heel. Yeah, I like it a lot because he's a good heel, dude. But I like he's like...
So you think he's turning heel?
Oh, yeah. Last night was like the biggest hint. Oh, yeah. He gave the hint. He's not going to be... He won't be a fake. He might sweat it out, but he's not going to be adamant. I don't want to be a bad guy. He's gonna play along with it. I think... he's starting to turn. Now he just passed the turn. It's starting to turn.
So, last week, Charlie, you weren't here. We were kind of we were losing hope a little bit on the Cody thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say, even after we filmed the episode, I was sitting there thinking, God, but there's that Sting moment. And I keep going back to that moment when Sting debuted and he came out to the Heroes Welcome. He had his moment with Shivani. And then he just did not like Cody. And like he said, I'm not here for you. I'll see you around, kid, which is kind of flipped yesterday. Like, they wouldn't have done that. That Sting thing was there, and their long-term storylines. So yeah, I'm back on board too. I think Cody's well aware of what he's doing.
Oh yeah, he knows what he's doing, dude. Because the whole us good guys, him coming out was kind of cocky. Us good guys.
Oh, it's dripping with condescension,
yeah,
and you could see
he called him kid. He called him kid. You know?
And Sammy Guevara went from like not happy with the introduction to then being like, "Yeah, I'm down with this friend thing," and then the kid thing, and you saw his face drop. Like, what the, like seriously, it was so great.
Then the whole, and then you said the giveaway was the whole running in the other tunnel. that was great. Then like, whoa, you know, it was perfect.
I think Charlie mentioned it before.
Like, yes, it's gonna be good.
I think Charlie mentioned it before, but I think it was over the last 2 shows. We've talked about this potential heel turn with Cody in these matches he's been having, how everything's felt very directionless. Like, we always sensed that a turn was coming, but it was just so unclear what was happening.
Like,
it was starting to really piss fans off. It wasn't even like heel heat. It was just go away.
Yeah, doesn't he know he's fucking annoying, you know?
I know. And so I was so happy this week to see this segment.
Dude,
I think it was really well done. Yeah, for regardless of, you know, everything that's happened over the last few weeks, this did a good job solidifying the direction of Cody. But more importantly, it was just good TV too. I'm really excited to see Cody and Sammy Guevara go at it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good because I don't know. It's because it could be. Does he lose?
He could take the title and like really piss people off.
Does he lose and get totally pissed off and go heel, or does he take it, act like a good guy still, but be a heel still do? So you don't know which way it's gonna go, because if they really want him to get hated, fucking take the belt off of him, and then the fans will just be fucking going nuts on him.
Oh, because Sammy's so over. Yeah.
Yep. And just have him be like oblivious. What do you mean? Why don't you guys like him? Yeah, won a title again, you know, and then just doing little heelish shit like he did last night. It could be really good, you know.
Yeah, I'm so happy they did that.
Yeah,
I had lost hope. And it's like,
yeah,
I think Matt, you just said the word directionless. It was like, okay, Malachi Black does this awesome thing where he just kicks the shit out of Cody. Second match, beats him. What was the point of a third match? And Cody had to win.
Yeah,
and then they like kind of hot shot this feud with Andrade, and he has to win that one in a like, you know, normally you reserve those sort of like street fights for like the end of a big feud, but it just seemed like it was kind of thrown in there to make Cody look sympathetic. Like they did all those things, and now it feels again like, yeah, they're doing that just to like they want people to just get disgusted and throw the belt back and all that. And
yeah, it's almost like if you want to try and justify why they did all these matches with Cody and Pac and Andrade and them, this is almost exactly how Roman Reigns was booked in 2015, where you didn't know where he stood, but you hated him just because like nothing felt clear. All he did was win. Nobody really cared or wanted him to win eventually. And then they never turned him heel, right? And we saw that over the last few weeks, and it was the exact same feeling. But now that there's a clear direction, and fans were telling WWE to do this years ago when Roman Reigns really could have made a heel turn much sooner, I almost wonder if Cody's saying, okay, yeah, we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to say, what happens if you actually turn the person heel? I'd love to know if that's actually what they're talking about in the writer's room, but
Cody,
we'll see.
Cody pulling out the sledgehammer for a hot second. Yeah. It's like, you know, the Triple H references, which people that aren't behind Cody right now are basically saying, dude, you're basically Triple H. So
yep. I think he figured it out. I think he gave us.
I think so.
Gave us okay. I know what's going on, dude. I know, but I have a feeling too. He might fucking get cheered with this now too, because people want him to turn heel so bad. They might switch. It might switch it up. That people are like, yes, he's a heel.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the minute he does turn heel, like if his heel moment comes by like, you know, like betraying Arn or doing something crazy, there's going to be a mix. It's not going to just be like that. Oh, you beat up Arn the Legend and boo. Oh, no, I think like when he actually turns heel, there's going to be a lot of people cheering.
Oh yeah,
right.
Myself included.
I think he's
I think it'll be like a unanimous, you know, joy that like people bond over. Be like, okay, we were all feeling this, and that's just kind of what AEW is. It's just like a collection of, you know, uber wrestling fans that they'll celebrate together and be like, okay, now we can get on with the show, and you know, the crowd will play their parts. And yeah, I think it'll be way better for business if Cody does this heel turn, which might happen at Winter is Coming. There hasn't been a lot of stuff already slated. We do have some big matches to talk about, but we know it's a big show. I mean, we just talked about it, us boys, before we started recording tonight. This is when Sting made his debut. This is where Kenny Omega took the belt off of Jon Moxley. So, I mean, this is a serious show. I know it's not one of their pay-per-views that they roll with, but it's becoming significant. We're going to see Bryan Danielson take on Hangman Page. I mean, I really don't know what to think about this match. I mean, Bryan Danielson has been just on fire since he's been on AEW. He's been on TV almost every single week, putting on awesome matches. He's looked better than ever as a technical wrestler. There's not a lot of holes in his game right now, but I mean, they just put the belt on Adam Hangman Page, so it's like, are they really going to take it off of him right away on, Winter is Coming? I don't really know.
You guys know where that shows?
Does anybody got a feeling?
Do you guys know where that show's at?
I'll look it up quick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's still on the East Coast, but
okay.
I don't know.
If it's down,
Steve, while you're looking that up, I'll just give a couple quick thoughts on this. AEW has been really good about long-term storytelling, especially with the championship. I feel like they've done a good job of building long-term championship reigns. This is going to be a true test of Adam Page, I think, because honestly, I've almost forgotten already about that moment between him and Kenny Omega from Full Gear. It was a 2-year build-up. We finally got that satisfying moment where Adam Page wins, but I almost feel like that story is already over, and the second chapter hasn't even started.
Yep.
So I would not be totally shocked if Bryan Danielson won the title, and for 2 reasons. One, I don't feel like it's too far of a reach given how on fire he is right now and just how good of a wrestler he is. I find it more believable that he would win the match than Adam Page, quite frankly, at this point. And secondly, Bryan Danielson, I think, is 40 or 41 years old now?
Is he?
I think he's at a point age-wise where putting the belt on him probably isn't a terrible idea, because you don't want him to get too much older and have either a run that gets cut short or one that just doesn't live up to the hype. So right. I think while he's hot, while he's in good shape, makes sense to put the belt on him. You can always build Hangman Page back up as kind of he did it, but he's still got more to learn, and just kind of keep him as the eternal baby face in the title picture. Like, if you're going to hot potato the title, he's the perfect guy to do it with.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Hey, good call. Yeah, he's
I mean, it's he would be a formidable opponent to lose to. And, again, like we just talked about, this is a big show. It would be appropriate, the timing, because it's not like people have their hearts, totally invested. I mean, he's got a good little gimmick right now saying cowboy shit, but that's basically it. It's not like it's not like he has like an awesome everything else going for him. He's got the Dark Order behind him, and I mean they're just like a band of buffoons basically.
That's
so true.
That's
it's not like he's very strong in his game.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But Danielson is pretty much showing that he can do it on his own, and the confidence is just oozing from this dude. I love how, they lead off the show, or they close the show with him just like, well, the crowd is just so fired up. It's like the dude is so cool, like, and just nothing rattles him. He's just looking at, like, sneering at the crowd like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm going against a guy named Angles. I'm going against John Silver. Like, what the fuck are you guys thinking is gonna happen right here? And then dismantles him. He's putting on a great show right now.
Oh man, you're right.
What an acquisition. For AEW.
That's great though, but like you said though, he's just all he's got is cowboy shit, and a cool cool entrance song, but he needs a little bit more than that. But like I said, I'd be surprised if they took it off of him this fast. I think they're going to play it out a little longer and see how he does. But I mean, I would still, that next show, the next big show is the Battle of the Belts in January, so. Maybe then, but like you said, he's got to do more. He's lucky that the ratings have been pretty decent and consistent, so they can't blame him for bad ratings. So they might keep the ball on him longer. But yeah, he needs to be on TV more, do more. Like when Kenny was on there doing just heelish shit, yeah, they need him to be doing something, besides.
Yeah, he isn't. He hasn't. Yeah, I think I got to steal this from What Culture.
Yep.
Adam Page hasn't wrestled since he won the title.
No,
and Brian's been out there every single week, legitimately caving heads in. So yeah, that's like almost like he's the good guy, but he's everything Daniel Bryan's saying is right.
Yeah, he's had two. I think Hangman's had like really 2 match or 3 matches. Was he in that? He had 2 or 3 matches, and one of them was was for the Rumble to get the belt. So he's only really had like maybe another one was like a tag team. No, he wasn't in that match. He was dressed up in the Halloween match. So he's only like really 1 full match the last how many months?
Months.
Yeah.
So what's interesting to me is like you got to think like the great unknown we don't know at this point is
who's coming in,
how think on their feet or how adaptable AEW is. Because if you figure really what Bryan Danielson's doing right now is filling in for Jon Moxley, because Moxley was going to be in this role. Moxley was going to turn heel. It's almost like they just inserted Bryan Danielson because they know he can do anything. He's going to be the heel now. So that being said, if this was Moxley right now, I think we'd all be like, yeah, Moxley's not going to win the title. But so by proxy, does that mean, yeah, they're going to stick to some sort of plan where Hangman holds on to it, maybe loses to MJF at some point? Or are they just being nimble right now? Okay, Moxley's out. Daniel Bryan is, I keep screwing his name up left and right, is in there. Let's just call an audible and give it to Danielson. Like, really, either way could work. But yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. It's like they haven't done a whole lot with Hangman other than he's wildly popular. He's got a gimmick, but there's not a whole lot of meat to the bone right now. And Danielson is so brilliant right now. Like, yeah, maybe you just strike while the iron's hot and have him continue this monster streak into a title reign.
Yeah. I could see some great matches coming out of him as champion as well.
Oh yeah, every match he's done has been great so far. Even with Dark Order guys are very dependable. Alan Angels has had good matches. We know Silver is great. Colt Cabana at this point in his career is just okay. But every person he's had a match with has been brilliant. Yeah.
I feel like there's so many more ways Bryan Danielson can beat Adam Hangman Page. And only he has his finisher that can beat Bryan Danielson. So I don't know. I'm playing the odds. I'm gonna predict that we're gonna see a new champion at Winter's Coming after
cool.
breaking it down.
I'd be very happy if that happened.
No argument from me either.
I think the magic of Hangman was the story with Kenny Omega and doubting himself and then rising back up and winning that title. It's like one of those, like, be careful what you wish for, because it's like he's got it now. What's left? I feel like
AEW is getting their money's worth with Danielson right now tenfold because of Moxley's absence too. It's like, you know what? We have this unique opportunity where we don't have to really cater to, so many people and, so much respect that is deserved and dealed out to all these guys. Put it on him. Fuck it. The dude's earned it. He's really delivered. I've never really been a fan of Daniel Bryan, like in WWE. I mean, I've talked some shit about him on the show, but he's pretty much won me over as far as respect goes as being a wrestler. The guy is damn good. He would make a great champion, Well, and Matt, like you said, with his age too, he's only got a window of so much time. It only makes so much sense. So,
yeah, I think my last point to kind of reiterate what we're saying too. I don't think AEW fans would have the slightest problem. I know that there's this, to some people, it's like, oh, another WWE guy comes in. Nobody's going to think that. It's like if Danielson wins the title, most people are going to be like, well, of course he deserves to be champion because he's freaking amazing.
He's paid his dues everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And, he's ate shit from WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, he's he's done and seen it all, and he's still capable to put on 5-star matches that we've seen. So, and that's all you can really hope from a champion.
Right.
I mean, do you get that out of Adam Page? He's got a limited skill set, in my opinion.
Yeah, you get solid matches from him, but probably you look at his greatest achievements, they're because of who he's in the ring with.
Right. I agree. Well, yeah, awesome chat about Winter is Coming. I mean, we do have some other good matches coming up. We're going to see MJF versus Dante Martin for who gets the ring. We just saw MJF and Dante battle it out in the Battle Royal last night on Dynamite. Any predictions on that? Are we going to think MJF is going to three-peat on this?
I wouldn't be totally shocked. Yeah. I mean, though, I can see... So even if MJF does win it, I think this starts something bigger between Dante Martin and Team Taz.
Oh, yeah.
Dante Martin was quick to sign with Team Taz, but then during the Battle Royal, we saw him and Ricky Starks sort of have their differences, let's say. So I think that was more Dante Martin trying to be clever to infiltrate Team Taz, build their trust, and use that to win the Battle Royal, which worked out well for him. So, yeah, I could see MJF winning due to shenanigans. It starts this beef with Team Taz so that we finally get a match between Team Taz and then hopefully Lio Rush and Dante Martin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I love that team. I think Dante Martin and Lio Rush could be a long-term team to me. That would they're just so great.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming as being as good as it is.
I guess to the point, the question, I don't know. These are really, that's what the beauty of AEW. You can work yourself into either scenario. Like, there stands the reason MJF's going to keep the hot streak and win it a third time, but CM Punk was giving him shit about you can only win because of the ring and your cronies. So maybe CM Punk or somebody F's him out of the ring. Dante Martin's got a super bright future. Having the ring would be fun. He doesn't have a huge personality, so I don't know what the ring does for him. So that's what makes me wonder. It's like all you think about with the ring now is MJF. So maybe he just holds on to it another year.
It's a hill.
But I do not believe they're going to quite pull the trigger yet on Wardlow, but once again, he screwed over Wardlow. So at some point, there's going to be that satisfying moment where Wardlow has enough and stands up for himself. I don't think it's going to be next week. So I don't know. I kind of feel like if you're going to keep this thing hot with CM Punk, that MJF wins one more time. But I wouldn't put money on it.
Yeah, I think MJF is going to retain this ring. I mean, it's a simple prize in AEW, and it's just it fits him so well, and he's won it twice. Why not three-peat? It's not like people are going to get real pissed off or it just makes too much sense. He's so hot right now, especially after coming back from Long Island. And let's talk about MJF's mom for a little bit here. If I'd love her weighing in on how much she despises her son on the internet. It's pretty funny shit. Making signs.
Yep.
That's right. That was great.
Yeah, the last time he was not an asshole, he was 4 years old?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Love
Charlie,
it.
were you was it you with me? Remember when we went to StarCast and they had that show? There was that man and a woman that were doing the podcast, and Eddie Kingston joined them.
Yep.
And I think it might have been really MJF's dad, but came on and was talking, and it was like that story. Somebody was on
MJF's dad.
And I think it was it's like this thing that his parents have been doing for a while now, where they say he's an asshole.
Yeah,
so
I think they've been working it. Yeah, I think they've been working it forever. Yeah. Yep, I forgot about that. Yeah, his dad was there. Yeah.
You gotta love the support from the family.
Yeah.
Keeping the kayfabe. I love it.
Can I interrupt with some breaking news from the world of professional wrestling?
Yeah, what do you see?
I want to read a headline to you guys because this is very important. Sunny says she's done with men after being left with the bill during a birthday date.
Yeah, I read about that this morning. She deserves it. She's trash. She's trash besides being besides being racist.
Yeah, I would honestly love to know where that restaurant was. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anything better than a TGI Fridays.
I was gonna say Applebee's.
It was Fogo de Chao. I read the article Fogo de Chao.
Wow, you know this, yeah?
Yeah, I read it. That was kind of interesting. They showed. I want to see what her boyfriend looked like, dude. I was like,
who's this sad to me?
I took her for a ride. What's sad is that she has money to pay for that because of fucking OnlyFans. That's how she's making big money.
Oh yeah, she's showing her where. Yeah. Sorry, that was a tangent. I just wanted to share that news.
I've seen Sunny in person, and sunny days aren't ahead for her.
No, the sun is definitely setting.
The sun has set. It has set. It's not setting.
I just honestly, I mean, I said this the other day to you guys in our chats, but in her prime, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there was a just more sensational woman in wrestling. And it's just sad to see where it's gone. I just she is just stunning. And now
I hated the Body Donnas because they got to hang out with Sunny all the time. Yeah. I was like, fuck these dudes. And their blonde hair.
This all should have been part of a Charlie's Corner, but that's okay. For our longtime listeners, don't worry, you still get the same great commentary.
Kind of a Steve's Corner there.
Steve's Corner on our next episode, so stay tuned for that one.
All right, so back to Winter is Coming.
Yeah, Winter is Coming. We're gonna see a little. What else are we gonna see on that show?
So I'm very excited, as everyone who likes good wrestling should be, that the Serena Deeb Shida match. You know that's gonna be freaking great because Serena Deeb has not had a bad match in this current run. She is she's almost like the female Bryan Danielson. That every match she's been in is great. Sheeta's really good too. So, and they've really done a good storytelling with this. I think that match is going to be off the charts.
I agree. If you had to pick who you think should win or could win or will win, I would probably go with Serena Deeb.
I think so.
The video package that they had between them kind of paints her as the better wrestler, and I think, quite frankly, she's probably got a better future in the women's division within AEW. I think, again, got to give credit to the What Culture guys. This is where we get all of our hot takes from, I feel, some days. But they were talking about how, in terms of long-term booking with the women, right now, Dr. Britt Baker, women's champion.
Yep.
Obviously, Thunder Rosa has to be the person to dethrone her. But then you got to wonder, well, okay, Thunder Rosa just dethroned a champion of over a year. Like, who dethrones Thunder Rosa? Serena Deeb feels like the perfect person to do that. So I think they're doing a good job building
up the division. Yeah,
exactly. They're doing a great job building up a list of champions to carry that division for a while.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, if I were forced to make a prediction, yes, she does. I mean, really good. She had a great run, a good title run, blah, blah, blah. Deeb's like your future. Yeah, and I agree. I think she has to win that one. And then she kind of waits in the wings while Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa do their thing.
Right. Well, and that's going to be a great match. We're going to have to tune in and see that. There's going to be some more matches probably going to be slated tonight on Friday Night Rampage. It's going to be a great show. And that only leaves one more segment left of the show, and that is Promo of the Week. And we got a new listener here. I bumped into him at the Drunk Uncle. His name's Kevin, and I told him about the show. He's a big wrestling fan. I was like, yo, you should throw in a little Promo of the Week. And he's like, all right, here we go. So he sent us a real nice one here. It's between Bobby the Brain Heenan and Mr. Perfect. This comes from 1990, so in their heydays and prime. So I can't wait to take a listen to this. It sounds like the perfect pair for the perfect promo. Let's take a listen.
Couldn't work out any better. Yankees are in last place. Mets are just about out of it. Who knows what the other two lousy teams are going to do. I'm going to bring a winner to the Garden, and the winner is Mr. Perfect. So, Texas Tornado, you miserable hick from those Dust Bowl, wherever you live, you're coming right here to the Big Apple. You know, Bobby, 10 days is not enough time for any man to prepare for an Intercontinental Championship bout. That's my fault. Well, I'll tell you what, Bobby. Don't worry about it. Kerry Von Erich, Texas Tornado. As fast as that tornado came down and swooped up the Intercontinental Championship belt, as fast as Mr. Perfect will bring it back. And what rightfully belongs to the family is the championship, and it will return to the family.
Well, there you have it. Mr. Perfect and Bobby the Brain Heenan putting on a perfect promo. They had the sculptures of Mr. Perfect's bust in the background. I always used to love that. Just classic shit. You gotta love it.
Classic. Oh, it's so good. I mean, Mr. Perfect in his prime, it was such a great character. Yeah. And Bobby the Heenan with him, and then they, Flair got involved in that at one point. But my God, yeah, that was just money. I love those promos.
That promo that Mr. Perfect did when he used to play like all the different sports and stuff like that. He was like going up against Bo Jackson. He was like throwing himself his own passes, and God, he was fucking awesome. So good.
I just love every little, some of the best matches of that era of the 90s where they're with Mr. Perfect and like Bret Hart and stuff. And I just remember the little things he did, like where he'd be holding onto the rope with one hand and somebody would kick the back of his leg and he'd do a complete 360 flip.
Yep.
Like, how do you do that? Like, it is just effortless. Yeah. And the Perfect Plex. I think one of the coolest things I ever saw in my life as a young fan was Mr. Perfect versus Hogan for the title. Of course, we know who won ultimately.
Mr. Perfect.
But
Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, right. You got it. But I can remember this still clear to this day. Mr. Perfect got Hogan in the Perfect Plex, landed it. The ref did 1, 2, and while in the Perfect Plex, Hennig reached out his hand and stopped the ref from the 3 count because he wasn't done with Hogan. Of course, that would work out to backfire. But it was just this perfectly execution. It was perfect execution because it's like he was in the right place to just grab the hand before it hit the 3 count. It was amazing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was the man.
Truly was. And he probably, I wouldn't say he was humble. But was he always hungry? I for sure think he was always hungry. He was always looking for his next way to wow the crowd. And you got to know he was always hard. Mr. Perfect, always keeping it Triple H. Right, Charlie?
Triple H.
There you go.
You got it.
Perfect. Yeah, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Keep the Kayfabe. And send us your requests and promos of the week at keepthekayfabe414@gmail.com and wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Peace.
Yes, I am. I'm the man. I believe every lie that I ever told. Paid for every heart that I ever stole. I played my cards and I didn't fold. Well, it ain't that hard when you got sold. This is my world. Somewhere I heard that life is a test. I've been through the worst, but I still give my best. God made my mold different from the rest. Then he broke that mold, so I know I'm blessed.
This is such good shit.